By putting facial lines and restorative overlays, we can help us to see how can we transform a patient before the treatment, and then have our orthodontic plan, and then our restorative plan. And also, that will also change our in-face visualization so that now we can see a photo here. It is just before the treatment, and also after the orthodontic plan. And now we can have the restorative plan simulated as well. Okay, that is the tools that we can communicate with our patients so that she will visualize and understand how tooth movement is helping us to do the restorative work, and what she will look like after orthodontic treatment, and then after the restorative treatment. So, okay, then talk something about implant. Okay, for implant, the most important thing is root parallelism. So unavoidably, we need to have more control of tooth movement, in not just collaboration. For this patient, 38 years old, she's coming to want to correct a crowning, and she already told me that I want some veneering or crowning of teeth. So the third thing is, and also she is missing one incisor. She just put on composite on it. So it's not nice looking. So in our plan, we'll do a non-extraction approach. Our plan is to correct the crowning and also open a space for the implant. You can see the tooth angulation before the treatment. So while we try to do it, we gain space from extension, visualization, correct crowning, and also we open up space for the implant 3-1. Now, to control the tooth movement in here, we try to upright and parallel the root of the low incisor. You can see I didn't put any attachment. Why? If this is a simple treatment, we don't need any attachment. Tooth itself is the biggest attachment. Okay. When you put attachment, make sure it's useful. No matter it's for control tooth movement or to give you retention. But if an attachment is not fitting, it creates more trouble. So that is how we did it. And also we finally removed all the composite between the 4-1 and 3-2, and now we got the tooth parallel. So what do we do next? Now with that planning, we get the tooth movement initially after first series alignment. What should we do next? Early improvement. Okay, now we prepare ostomy site for an implant, so I did the implant. Okay, as a GP, I did it always for another 20 years. And I put a 3 millimeter diameter implant, Nobel active, and on the same day I get a temporary crown. This is a temporary crown. I try to paint it because that made the tooth look better. Okay, so I just keep this tooth, and also during the treatment, sometimes with the other tooth movement, because that tooth is not moving, we need to adjust it to fit in. Okay, so crowning already be resolved. So what I need to do next is I select to do crowns for the patient. That is the change. Is it too white for you? It's very white. But no matter what, you have to discuss with the patient to select the color that she like. Okay. So that is the change. After change, for the orthodontic tooth movement, we distribute the space, we improve the occlusion and alignment, and prepare the site for our implant as well as for our final crowns. And that is after the orthodontic treatment, that's after the restorative treatment. Okay, that's something that we can help our patient by collaborating the treatment when we are helping them not just towards the end, we're helping them throughout the whole process. Another patient, a teen patient, a class 3 patient, actually we feel very sad that if you know that he has been taking away the Mr. 2-5 because of crowding. Now, after the orthodontic treatment, we need to restore it back. So what we need to do is we plan orthodontically. First, we plan how to correct his crowding, correct his anterior crossbite, and open up the space to restore not 2.5 to 2.4. 1.4. Okay, so while we try to open up the space, correct the posterior crossbite, anterior crossbite, we need to address the root parallelism. For doing an implant in the anterior region, if you are very lucky, sometimes we may do a simple tipping, but most of the time, you need to control the root. So make sure when opening it up, we won't get tipping and bring the root too close to each other, and that will be safe for our surgery. So we extend. And also you can see there's a jump, because for the kids, I've added a elastic jump to help him to resolve the anterior crossbite. So we open the space, but it's not good enough. What happened? Because in the first clean check, I only used optimized attachment. It didn't give us a very good root control. So we were resolving the class 3, we were solving the crowding, the crossbite, but the root is not parallel. So what should we do? We need to do another design by adding overcorrection, and also we keep the attachment longer and use reticular attachment, and we need to a retainer for interviewing purpose, because aligner is too soft to serve as a retainer sometimes. So long rectangular attachment puts some overcorrection, and I try to keep the attachment longer until we get the final prosthesis. Make sure it fits in, and to prevent the relapse. So after we prepare it, and then we can insert the implant. I did it, and on the day when I do an immediate function, so I make the temporary crown for the patient. Okay, so by using a temporary tight cylinder, I do temporary crown, and that is a temporary crown. I also paint it a little bit to make it look like natural. Okay, that is how we open up space, how we manage the difficulty in not putting the root parallel enough, and then we insert the implant. And that is the final crown. We extend arch to gain space to correct patient occlusion. At the same time, we reorganize the space for an implant. But for implant, we need to control the root parallelism, and that is the finished result. The 1.4. And we correct the anterior crossbite, improve patient's profile. Actually, we improve the lid support for patient as well, and improve his smile. So, collaboration. We do the space redistribution. We make the root parallel. We give the patient early improvement. And finally, with that interim measure, now we can finish with a better result. Okay, for this 57 years old woman, when we talk about multidisciplinary treatment or ortho-restorative treatment, you find you see more and more patients at that age, because they are losing teeth and their tooth is not they have no chance to do orthodontic treatment before, tooth is not well aligned yet, and it's difficult for us to do the restoration before we organize the space and the position of the teeth. Okay, so while she's come, she wanted to improve the smile and the alignment. But that is one thing, is actually she has some periodontal involvement. She's coming with a protrusive profile that she wants to improve, and also with a proclined upper incisor with a large overjet, and also missing art teeth. So she agreed to put implant on this area. But another thing is, she got a perio involvement on the tooth 1-1. What happened is the tooth got really inflamed, it got a mobility too. And of course, we can remove it and put an implant or a temporary crown or bridge on it. But I want to try to control the situation before I make the final decision. Because before we retract the incisor, before we reorganize the space, sometimes it's difficult for us to put the implant in the right position. And the tooth is still important for the patient's aesthetic. And so what we need to do is we try to do some periodontal treatment on all the teeth, especially from 1-1. So after the treatment, you can see the inflammation resolved, but also there is a larger black triangle. So no matter what, we put the perio situation to be a more stable situation. And also one thing, when you come across a periodontal patient, before the treatment, during treatment, after treatment, I always check the occlusion and mobility. And if needed, I will do some occlusal adjustment to prevent any premature contact. And also for periodontal involved teeth, sometimes I will make sure aligner fits. I will reduce the movement velocity. If it is not fit, I remove the attachment. If it is very mobile, I will put the attachment on it. That is some of the rule to prevent applying an excessive stress on the periodontal involved teeth. So what we need to do is we expand arch and create some space with eyebrow as well, because for periodontal patient with that big large black triangle, so we use a space to retract it. And also in lower, we do some stage intrusion. And also we try to correct the toothache as well, because patient is missing the tooth set. Okay, let's forget about the 6 and 8 on the golden tooth, because patient got severe off-track. Probably we may need to use additional liner or some auxiliary tools like sexual razor to help. But when we look at the initial treatment, now patient look much well aligned, and the black triangle is still here. Since then, the periodontal situation has been controlled quite well, and you can see I already insert implant on the 3/6 because the space is already available. Okay, the patient has some concern on the black triangle. So what I need to do is I use some composite to reduce the black triangle. And also for the 3/6, after 3 months of osseointegration, I use the aligner as a template to help me to do a temporary crown. Of course, if we can if we want to do that temporary crown, I'm asking for the technician to give me a full-size pointing, which is positioned at the final position, not moving the clean check and also with occlusion. So that is long enough for us to make this temporary crown, and now we have an absolute anchorage. And also it is an early improvement for the patient with one less missing teeth, and she can eat something with it. Okay, and we keep on looking at that perio situation. It becomes better and better up to the extent that the papilla, some of the papilla grow back, and you can see some of the angular bone loss has been resolved by nature, by the patient itself. As long as we've given a better environment, a more clean, more well aligned, and make sure it has no premature contact. So sometimes it's just a miracle. Now the patient still got some mobility on the incisor, but now it's just mobility 1. And patient want to keep this tooth instead of removing it. I want to keep this tooth as well, because no prosthesis is better than the natural teeth. So we can see how we use space redistribution and use tooth movement to help us to prepare a site for restoration or implant or future implant, or even better, we use the tooth movement to help us to solve the periodontal involvement as well by improving clear occlusion. Okay, so treatment is still going on, and patient will, if the lower treatment is finished, maybe I will change that temporary crown supported by the implant, the 3/6 into a final crown. And you can see I put a button on the 3/6, and it is a very good anchorage device. So the patient has got better alignment and it reduced the overjet and also improved the inclination. Even the facial profile did get some changes. her smile. So, as additional information, I want to show you how I made the temporary crown. After oscillation, we connect our temporary cylinder. First, we block the acid to prevent the resin go into it, and then use the aligner as a template, which is with a virtual point which is not moving, and then we finish it. We try to drill and open up a screw hole again, and then we take it out and we try to recontour the regurgitation profile. We put it in to use it to condition the soft tissue, and then we can have the final crown. And to take in to replicate the soft tissue contour, we use some duraling or flow concept to put it on the impression coping to take it. Of course, you can scan it, but you have to make sure you scan it quickly before the soft tissue collapse. So, everything is about collaboration. We just finished on time, so thank you. So now is the question Q&A slot.
Thank you. Và bây giờ là giờ để cho chúng ta có thể hỏi được các câu hỏi cho cả phần trước lẫn phần này. Chắc bây giờ một bạn Hà Anh hả? Và Hà Anh dịch giúp các câu hỏi của các hội thảo viên. Mình có mấy cái mic nhỉ? Đây em ơi đấy.
Hello, xin chào thầy giáo. Cho hỏi một câu là thứ nhất là những cái trường hợp mà mình chỉnh ngang mà mình muốn đánh đúng nhanh thì mình phối được mình cấy vít ở bên trong bên ngoài thì có được không? Cái thứ hai là khi mà mình chỉnh bằng máng này thầy giáo chỉnh nhiều rồi thì có những trường hợp nào mà bị gây loạn năng cái hệ thống hay không? Và nếu mà có loạn năng thì mình xử lý bằng cách nào? Xin cảm ơn.
Doctor has two questions for you. The first one is that you're going to intrude where the incisors or the molars. Do you intact and how do you use it? And the second question is that when you do the orthodontics with Invisalign, is there any chance that you get a patient to have TMD problem and how to solve it?
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, the first question is about for the intrusion. No matter we intrude the anterior or the posterior, do I use text? I never use text. You aim the intrusion. I use text to control some anchorage or to recover some of the patient who didn't comply to wear elastic or lost anchorage. And the most difficult part is the upper and lower molar incisation. But we're going back to intrusion. If I do it for anterior intrusion, as long as you correct the crowding and inclination before you start to intrude, and you not intrude 6 teeth together, intrude incisor and then canine, because incisor is easier. For aligner treatment, we always do things easier to prevent early off tracking and then do the more difficult one. So it is very predictable. So I don't use any text for the lower incisor or lower anterior intrusion. For the posterior, it depends on how many posterior teeth we need to intrude. When we talk about like an implantation, usually we got an opposing over-erupted molars. As long as we open up some space for it, and we got retentive attachment on the adjacent teeth, the aligner can produce the force that intrude. Why we need a mini screw? Because sometimes it's for anchorage issue and to prevent any unwanted extrusion of other teeth. But in aligner, and well cover other teeth in view and also provide us with a good anchorage control so we can intrude molars without mini screw. We do it always. But when we talk about intrude the whole segment, sometimes it's more difficult. Maybe we need to do it by stage. But in case, one day, if I want to intrude the whole arch, probably I will think about text because it will be more difficult if we talk about intruding whole arch. The second question is about TMD problem. Okay. To create TMD problem, some doctors will think about if I put on the the thing that like a splint, but it's not a perfect splint. It's not doing it because aligner, just like splint, we get a thickness. And also, sometimes for aligner treatment, we will get posterior open bite, so we get premature contacts. And also, sometimes we run strong elastic. With these three things have a chance to create TMD, I would say I'm not doing research, but clinically, I hardly say patient suffer from this. Because aligner, as we call bite raising appliance, usually it helps us. And also, when we move, aligner has a privilege that it's easy to relieve a lot of tooth from occlusion and give it premature contact. But think in another good side, it removes your existing poor occlusion or any interference. But what we need to do is, because we know moving teeth or orthodontic movement won't induce TMD, basically. But what we need to do is, we relieve them from occlusion, and patient usually will get atrophic changes of the masseter muscles, so they will relax, gut muscle relax. But finally, we still need to move all the posterior together in solid occlusion. Then, it's not causing us TMD, it will help us to resolve TMD. This is the thing that we need to do. To relax muscle, find our central relationship, and then we restore the occlusion. Actually, orthodontic movement is just like a full mouth rehabilitation. And about the elastics, for class 2 traction, usually it will help because it's moving the jaw forward to reduce the pressure from the conductor elements. But when we talk about class 3 patient, usually the question is asking, will you run that 6 ounce elastic? Will that cause TMD for class 3 patient? I don't know the true answers, but I can tell you clinically, it won't happen. What I'm thinking is, because while we're running elastic, we're wearing the aligner. While we wear the aligner, the contact is in a different position because it's opened up, the bicycle will raise a little bit. So that's the reason why, even we run strong elastic, we didn't get any TMD by these elastics. So, but as a general practitioner, it's just a personal opinion. I hope what I observe in the clinical can be well explained or well researched by teachers in the university. But no matter what, and also one thing, if the patient coming in my office with TMD, I won't start the aligner treatment. I'll make sure the signs and symptoms have been well managed. No matter it's by me with sometimes do some occlusal splint, and we identify the final true end position or final central relations for the patient, that muscle relax, then I start. At least we use that diagnostic or some therapeutic measure to do the diagnostic before I start to do anything. If this is too difficult, I'll refer. Okay, I hope I give you the answers or give some idea about what I'm thinking. Thank you for the question. What's the next question? You can ask question about my first lecture, about the complex extraction treatment as well.
Mình còn có câu hỏi để chúng ta có biết ngày hôm nay không ạ?
Cảm ơn thầy. Cho hỏi là trường hợp mà nhổ răng 4 hoặc kéo lùi tối đa thì mình thấy là cái ca của thầy mất neo rất ít, thì cho hỏi là trung bình thì mất neo của cái răng sau của ca nhổ răng 4 kéo lùi tối đa là bao nhiêu trăm?
Doctor, I have a question about your earlier presentation. You see that when you extract the falls and you retract, not a lot of loss of anchorage. So we want to ask, what is the average loss of anchorage that you see in your case?
I think in my presentation you can see it is not too easy to lose anchorage. You get a liner, maintain the fitting. Because as I mentioned, a liner is, I will mention, is a high anchorage device. Because by definition, anchorage is the reluctance to unwanted tooth movement. And a liner with a good fit really does minimize unwanted tooth movement in any dimension. But of course, if alignment won't fit, it induces unwanted movement. So, when talk about anchorage lost, for Invisalign to control anchorage, no matter we talk about extraction treatment or non-extraction treatment, we have several ways. Number one, we can do staging. It's a very important method because we can move teeth one by one. Don't put, it's regarding how long will be the treatment, but we can do it in stage. And also with elastic, we can run strong elastic because in conventional braces we will use very light elastic, 3.5 ounce or 4.5 ounce already sometimes too large. But aligner, because of its nature of preventing unwanted tooth movement or any particular unwanted extrusion, even running heavy elastic won't cause occlusal canting. So that's the reason we use strong elastic. Then the second reason to help us control the elastic. The third is about the retention. If you maintain fitting, we maintain a good retention, it will help. Say for example, if you are going to distalize 2 molars or 4 molars, the anterior tendon to give you anchorage. True. Where is the contact point deliver the anchorage? For alignment treatment, no matter we talk about orthodontic force or reaction force, everything is about contact between tooth and the liner. Probably you're pushing the mesial facing surface of the molar backward, and and distally facing or the palatal surface of the incisor is helping you to give you the contact and the reaction force. Same thing. If you didn't get sufficient attachment in the front, or you have no attachment in the front, or especially you got a power ridge in the front, the day you bought the attachment, you fit in the liner, what happened? The anterior teeth won't fit that good. If the teeth didn't fit that good, can it deliver the anchorage? Difficult. So that's why I keep on stress or emphasize the importance of attachment design and alignment fitting and retention. If you take these 3 things, alignment fittings with retention, staging, and elastic, most of the time, no matter you look at my extraction treatment or other treatments, isn't enough. That's why I don't put attachment. Of course, attachment is the number 4. You get one case I put the attachment because we need to do upper anterior retraction and also the lower molar dissection together. Then we need mini screw. I'm not rejecting mini screw. I just try to understand the aligner mechanics to see what it can do for us. And before I use a mini screw, because when the patient select aligner, they are selecting a treatment with better treatment experience. So I try to minimize the use of tags. But if you use tags and you find there's advantage, please use it. Okay.
Cảm ơn bác sĩ. Thì em xin phép được hỏi một câu từ ban nãy lúc vừa nghỉ, bác sĩ có nhiều em hỏi thấy là có một số nguyên chất của thầy có cái răng nó bị chồng lên nhau hàm trên hàm dưới, trong quá trình dịch chuyển thầy có cho bệnh nhân đeo khai khi ăn không? In the break, some of the doctor wanted me to ask you that in some of your clean check, it seems like the lower and the upper teeth overlap each other during movement. So
please ask again. I thought you were translating, so please ask again.
Okay, sorry. So during the break, some of the doctors want me to ask you that in some of the clean check, there seems to be an overlap of the lower and the upper teeth during movement. So do you have the patient wear aligners while they eat?
Okay, you mean upper teeth and lower teeth overlap is about the anterior. Will it produce a premature contact? Yes. Okay. Yes, it will. Because when you align something provider, you always see premature contact and posterior open bite. It happens. No matter you are doing an ordinary class 2 cases or you need to jump for the class 3 patient from to correct the anterior crossbite. This is unavoidable. But the good thing I want to tell you is, usually this premature contact won't turn into a traumatic occlusion. So you just need to accept it and do things quickly. So I accept the transition stage we get to premature contact. But the most important thing is we manage it in the following stages. just in case if the patient got this premature contact or overlap and they got some mobility or someone really has signs of traumatic occlusion, what I'm doing is I'll stop treatment, check the status of the tooth, check the clean check the CBD if needed, and then manage. How can I manage? Sometimes I'm doing some occlusal adjustment. Sometimes I'm asking the patient to wear the liner to eat. And sometimes if I think the root has a chance to come out, and then I will use my client to add some neighborhood tone, stop the treatment, and then rescan to move the root to the favorable position. That is why we manage if anything bad happen when we got too much premature contact. But during the treatment, no matter you see in a clean check or in a clinical sign, you see this premature contact. Okay, it's just like friends that come to me every day. But I know it won't hurt. It's just a transitional stage that will affect patient's chewing function sometimes. But patient can get used to it. So if I really want to design tooth movement to avoid that anterior premature contact, yes, I can. I just try to, say for example, I stop moving, I move one arch first, that will be very secure. But no matter how you do it, it will increase the number of stages very much. So I try to cope with it rather than avoid it. Okay.
Thank you. Chắc là vì đến của bạn đến giờ chuyển.
Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question that I will be asked by Dennis. Mình muốn hỏi hai câu thôi. Câu thứ nhất là nếu mà bạn, tức là sau khi mà thầy kết thúc chỉnh răng thì bao giờ nó sẽ có cái điểm chạm sớm ở khớp cắn, thì thầy sẽ mài luôn để điều chỉnh khớp cắn, hay là thầy sẽ chờ một thời gian thầy mới mài chỉnh khớp cắn để khi
một câu còn lại từ giờ One last question for you. So after the orthotic treatment by Invisalign, there might be some premature contact or interference. Do you do the adjustment right away, or you wait for a while to see how the occlusion will settle?
Can you ask again? I cannot hear.
After the orthodontic treatment, do you see there will be some premature contact or occlusion interference in some teeth? If you see it, do you do the adjustment right away, or you wait for a while for the occlusion to settle?
Good question. Okay, I want to tell you how I settle the occlusion to find my final occlusion. Usually, I love to use the Vivera, but you know Vivera is not something good to allow occlusal sagging. So before I put my Vivera, I'll put my fixed retainer on 3 to 3 if it's good enough. And then, because as I mentioned, I will try to finish my occlusion with staged extrusion, assisted by elastic. And towards the end, maybe to control which tooth is moving more effectively, I will remove some of the attachment on particular selected teeth. Without attachment, remove is extremely easier. And also, I will reduce the wearing time. And then I will get more contact. But more contact doesn't mean it is all good contact. Some are premature contact. Some may reduce interference. So, usually, no matter during the treatment or closer to the finishing of the treatment, we got more contact, I will do some minor adjustment. Okay, this is also one of the ways for us to settle occlusion. And then, because the patient is wearing the aligner, the Vivera retain every day, so I will just stop at the point that I deliver the Vivera. I make sure, usually I want the patient get incisor free from contact at the CO. And of course, if good, I want a canine protection. But most of the time, immediately after my tooth movement and use of the retainer, it may not be the best occlusion. But after the patient wearing a liner for 9 months to 12 months, I reduce the wearing time. And then, after maybe 2 months or 3 months, after tooth will settle, because a liner or retainer will deform. And then at that time, I will check the occlusion again and do some occlusal equilibration if needed, or we add composite for sometimes, and I show you. So because as a general practitioner, we not just moving teeth and take good pictures, because to take good pictures is easy comparatively, but to have a very good dynamic occlusion is hard. Even I feel it's hard. But after you do all this exercise, I guarantee, after you personally did this occlusal equilibration or occlusal satin or semi-equilibration, you will do a better 3D control by controlling the final position of each teeth for each of the patient. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question.